my fear of women, which I believe was caused, like the fear of rejection, which I believe was caused by my childhood trauma and me not being able to connect with women, like just girlfriends. I mean, girlfriends in a sense, girl friends. Yes, I had friends who were girls, but like speaking with a woman, mm, romantically, that was not available for me
Yeah.
for a long time. That was before war, right? So
So, but do you think it relates to your relationship with women before even girlfriends, such as your mother and grandmother, and just how you saw women back home?
what do you mean?
You, the fear of women and all
Yeah.
that
Okay.
that you
I see.
had
Okay.
before your girlfriend, do you think that it relates with, when you say you related to your childhood trauma, but does it relate also to women, including your mom, your grandma, or whatever woman was in your life or was not in your life?
Oh, okay. So my childhood trauma is still with me very much. So it's if we're viewing it from the mm, schema therapy perspective, it's called abandonment trauma. So the way it unfolds for me is that I always scan people I interact with for abandonment. So like even like when I'm speaking to you, I've already caught like 3 times that I had this trigger, and I'm like, oh, okay, there you have. Like I'm now aware of it. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's a trigger and illusion and my trauma right there. You know, like it's just it's not true. No, like Noor is not abandoning me, or
He's an
like
asshole, but it doesn't abandon people.
yeah. So like 3 times during our conversation, I noticed that, right? So uh now I'm
Do you
able to
perceive
see.
that as an anxiety? Does it make you anxious when you perceive it? Is it under the form of an anxiety?
Let me think. Mm, I don't know what emotion that is. If it's a proper trigger, let's say it's in my relationship with my girlfriend, and where it's like it goes deep, it's sadness. It's deep sadness. I can still be aware of it. We can still talk about it. I can communicate it, but then it's I got triggered and it's powerful, you know. So there it's sadness. In cases where it's in my daily life,
Mhm.
like in our conversation with my just normal everyday life, where I can notice it and understand, like just be aware of it. It's very quick. It's more like a trigger. It's more like a, I don't know, maybe it's anxiety, but it's a very short-lived anxiety. Yeah. So what is it related to? Uh
Why did you smile?
why did I smile?
Uh,
I don't know.
I get the feeling that, I don't know, I get the feeling that you feel more than you share. I mean, and maybe you haven't learned or gotten used to express it.
Hmm.
Because That's why I could speak with you for hours because we can both be on our heads and be mental about it, and not take things personally. But I had to learn to go back to my heart and to my root and come back up and kind of rely on my feelings to, like, for example, I would say something and I realize that my attention goes towards my feeling to see if it matches what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned to do it naturally, but I think I wasn't doing it for a long time. But so, in addition to that, I think that when there is some anxiety, and anxiety doesn't make it big, it's almost like our attention gets absorbed by this feeling that wants us to notice it, but it wants us to notice ourselves. And the less we notice, the more it grows. Or I would say the anxiety. But for me, anxiety is this oppression that it applies. It's like we're resisting the feeling, the sensation. But at
Mm-hmm.
one point, when you break that kind of barrier or the filter, then you just, you embrace the feeling or whatever feels the fear usually behind it, which
Mm-hmm.
in turns becomes, I guess, loving rather than fearful. So it would be interesting, I think, for you when you start noticing, and I think hopefully soon, that that fear is actually an opportunity, becomes an opportunity, a break to kind of breakthrough to bring something out and about. Because for me, where fear is placed, it is always the door to a treasure behind it. So if there's fear, it means that something needs to be released, something needs to be seen, something, it's a blessing behind it, in, in short.
Yeah. Um, we've talked. I discussed this topic a lot with my girlfriend, and I shared this with you in the past as well. Nothing changed. We talk a lot about emotions and triggers and traumas. And the conclusion that I got, my understanding of trauma is that it's always on. If you have it, it's always on. It's on is this it completely influences how you see reality around you. And then, but maybe it's on a yeah, it's I can't even say that it's on a small level. Compared to triggers that you can get, then yes, of course, it's tiny. But then it's like in my reality, I believe that I can be abandoned because I was in my childhood. If I don't look at it from other perspectives where I wasn't really abandoned and blah blah blah. But this is how I this is my reality, the reality that I live in, right? That people can that and I feel abandoned, as you mentioned, like this anxiety, right? Every time I feel this, I feel abandoned a little bit, right? A little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Every
But
trigger is
who
me.
abandons you? Who abandons you when you feel?
Okay, okay, that's good. Mm. My mother.
So she
abandonment.
makes you feel that way. She triggers the feeling in you, your mother. Is your mom making you feel the feeling of being abandoned?
My
Who's
inner
making you
my
feel
inner child, yes. Yes, my inner child.
what your inner child? Finish your phrase. Your inner
Sorry?
child what? Your inner child what?
Yeah, my inner child feels abandoned by my mother.
But who's there now for your inner child? Who's
Yeah,
observing? Who's observing your inner child at this very moment?
well, I do.
There you go. So how can
Yeah,
you be abandoning yourself?
yeah. Well, yeah. I guess I haven't learned to take care of my inner child. I do abandon it. I don't know how not to.
It's all right. The first step is in recognizing and becoming aware of it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So now that you're observing the feeling of being abandoned that is shared with you by your inner child, then you can, in your own way, treat your inner child in a way that it feels your presence. So maybe through visualization, maybe a feeling, a somatic gesture, such as putting your hand on your chest or, holding your hands and then just, with your inner voice, realize that you're here. You're here. Rather than within, while the feeling of abandonment is there, we're bringing a feeling of presence, of authority, which is the adult Ilya that is there. For the other versions of Ilya, make that promise and that commitment, that agreement that from now on, you will just always be there.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe at a certain time you couldn't. And that's what the inner child needs to know, that it can count on the adult. So, we reassure him, reassure ourselves that we are present. And whenever we feel this feeling of abandonment, then we bring in presence in your own way. Whether it's your own voice, your inner voice, a gesture, a moment of silence and observance. And at that moment, you stop giving away the power to someone else, such as your mother and so on, because you're there. When all of a sudden you can resolve your own traumas without the participation of anyone else but yourself. Mm. think that's maybe one of those things you should be doing is recording some in your own comfortable, language, whether it's English or Ukrainian. You should be recording some, whether it's a form of affirmation or fact. I mean, if you are interested in, probably should be doing that myself. You got some people there that sometimes just take a moment, they take a book, they read a quote, and they add a little bit of their touch to it. It's just like a reminder, to people who want to hear a reminder. I think myself, that's what I would do to share with people that, you know, you can be there for yourself when others, cannot be there for you. To reclaim your inner power, you know. The people who feel alone, the people who feel unloved, the people who feel helpless, the people who feel poor, whatever. That would be a nice gesture.